Hi everyone, and welcome to the flipped recording for lesson 1.02, Intro to Physical Science. As we get started, be sure that you are taking notes during this recording in your science notebook. Remember, you can use the slide template or handwrite your notes, but you also want to make sure that I can clearly see the slide or page with the lesson number and title. And this is 1.02. So as we jump into the lesson introduction, this is the first page that we're looking at. We talked about what is science in 1.01, and now we're talking specifically about physical science. So you will see some words that are similar to what you saw in the last lesson, matter and energy. So if you did not define those, you'll want to do that now. But physical science explores matter and energy and the relationship between matter and energy. Physical science examines everything from musical instruments to simple machines to how the planets stay in orbit. To take on the study of physical science is to embark on an exploration of how the world works. So scrolling down, take a moment to explore this image that captured the launch of a SpaceX rocket blasting off from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. What are some examples of matter that you can observe in the image? So if you remember, matter is something that has mass and takes up space. So if you can think about some of those examples, I will click on them here as well, and we can see those. So we've got plants, clouds, water, a car. I don't see a car, but maybe we're not zoomed in or out close enough. I don't see a car though in this one. And dirt. So we can see dirt on the road. We know other things that could be examples would be the, well, it talks about the lake water. We've got the air that we're breathing that takes up space. If you were to blow up air into a balloon, right, it takes up space. So those are examples. So our lesson goals, remember, we are filling some things into our science notebook. We want to be able to describe matter and energy. So on the left side, you want to be sure to fill out the definition for physical science we just talked about. It's the study of matter and energy and their interactions, which include the disciplines of physics and chemistry. The next one is matter, anything that has mass and takes up space. And the keyword energy, the ability or capacity to do work. So remember, you're getting the science notebook template, so you can add this to your existing, or you can add a slide like we have done before. And we will go on to the next part. My computer's moving a little bit slow today. So the guiding questions, remember, go on the right side of the page. You'll want to write these down. What is physical science? What is matter? What is energy? So it seems pretty easy. We've just defined those. You may already have them on the left side. So remember, at the top of the right side, you'll write down guiding questions and you'll just fill in the words there, the definitions. So if you didn't write those on the left before, then great, you can write them over on the right side. But I am looking that the guided questions are answered in each slide when I am grading this later on. All right, so now we're moving out of the lesson introduction and we're actually going into the lesson content. So here it talks about matter. It's the stuff of the universe. So this is where your note taking on the left will come into play. You can write down any words that are helpful, images, charts, anything that you would like. So everything around you is matter. A leaf on a tree, the water in a pond, the cereal you ate for breakfast. Everything on Earth, all that makes up the gases swirling around distant planets, and whatever is in your kitchen are all matter. The burning gases of the sun are matter in the gaseous state, whereas the ground you walk on is matter in a solid state. Okay, so important to know, I would maybe put this in your notes, matter changes states. We know those three states of matter are solid, liquid, and gas. Those would be three easy bullet points to add into your notes. Matter exists in a variety of states known as phases. Okay, so you might see phase changes, or you might see state, what state of matter. So those two words can be used interchangeably. So for example, you'll see a change phase from a liquid to a solid as heat is removed. Okay, so water will change phase from liquid into a solid. So as it gets colder, that means heat energy is removed. The temperature is dropping. It freezes. So it would turn to a solid. Then if heat energy is added, that means the temperature increases. The solid, the ice, is going to change back into a liquid state. Or if the temperature gets high enough, it's going to boil, which turns the water into gas. So that's when it becomes steam, right? So explore the image and look for places where ice appears to be melting or freezing. And that is an example of a phase change between solid and liquid. So if we look in the picture here, we're able to see snow and then some solid ice. It looks like it's melting here. So we see some water. And then we also see kind of in this little area, it looks like there is some ice melting there as well. So we're talking now a little bit about energy. Okay, energy is the ability to do work. Energy makes mass move, and when mass is moved by a force, work is done. So this is something you want to write down as well. Energy is the ability to do work. You probably have that. But when mass is moved by a force, that's called work. So think about the things that you need to get through your day and the energy required to do them. Did you eat breakfast today? The food you ate contains energy. Did you ride in a car today? The car is powered by the stored energy of gasoline. Energy can be found in many different forms. So you could write this down. Energy forms would be electrical, chemical, light, thermal, nuclear, mechanical, and there are still others. So now we're looking at a picture of wind turbines. You may have seen these in real life before. I was raised up in the panhandle of Texas, and these where it's very flat. There's not a lot of trees, so there is a lot of wind there. So we see these there a lot. They call those wind farms. So explore these wind turbines. They demonstrate how energy works and can be converted from one form to another. So energy from the wind moves the blades of the wind turbine, and then the turbine uses a generator to convert that mechanical energy of the wind into electrical energy, and that can be converted to other types of energy. So it's pretty interesting. Matter and energy interact. So when a ball hits the ground, energy and matter are directly interacting. Energy is being transferred from one object, the ball, to another object, the ground. All right, so reviewing the lesson here. Physical science, we know, explores matter and energy and their relationship. We've answered the following questions a couple of times now already. We know that matter, this says the stuff of the universe, but before you got an actual definition that says anything that has mass and takes up space. When does matter change state? This is a good thing to know. When energy is added or taken away. I would put this sentence in my notes. So over on the left-hand side, when does matter change state? And then what is energy? You've already answered that. It's the ability to do work. And so before you finish the lesson, you want to make sure that you have everything filled in to your notes and you are ready to go. So once everything's completed on your slide, you can see that we've done the introduction, explore, and then the review. I know that my screen looks a little bit different being the teacher screen, so don't panic there if yours looks a little bit different. But if we go back over here, we're finished with that lesson. As you can see, it was only 10 minutes, very quick. It moved a lot faster than lesson 1.01. So the next step, look at your schedule for the flipped follow-up session in your Class Connect. Jump into Help Lab on Mondays if you have questions, and have fun learning some new content. And I will see you soon.